During a recent public forum, attention shifted to the audience as the moderator welcomed questions. The first to speak was an individual named Alan, who stood up and posed a sharply pointed inquiry. In light of Kemi Badenoch's recent appointment as the leader of the Conservative Party, should Dawn Butler be disciplined for endorsing a controversial tweet that labelled Badenoch as representing white supremacy in blackface? This tweet, originally authored by Nels Abbey, a commentator known for his provocative views, had been reshared by Dawn Butler, a Labour MP, stirring a heated debate across political lines. This question is particularly potent at a time when political sensitivities are heightened. Kemi Badenoch, celebrated for her ascent within the Conservative ranks, represents a significant ideological and racial milestone in British politics. However, her leadership has not been immune to criticism, some of which has morphed into racially charged commentary. The incident involving Dawn Butler has prompted calls for her to be stripped of her parliamentary whip, reflecting a broader discussion about the boundaries of acceptable political discourse and the implications of racial commentary within it. In response to the question, Alan expressed a firm stance, noting, "Absolutely, she should be removed. If such actions occurred in a typical workplace, they would warrant immediate dismissal." This perspective underscores the tension between free expression and the responsibilities that come with public office, especially in an era where digital platforms can amplify personal views into public spectacles. The unfolding debate around Butler's actions and Badenoch's leadership role captures a snapshot of the current political climate, where race, leadership, and accountability intersect with the power dynamics of party politics. The issue invites a broader reflection on how politicians navigate the complex interplay of race and ideology in the public eye, challenging the electorate to consider where they draw the line on political expression versus political correctness. In a recent flurry of controversial statements and actions, Butler, a prominent public figure, has found herself at the center of heated debates surrounding race and identity politics. Her assertion that the removal of the whip could be perceived as racially motivated due to its historical implications has stirred significant conversation. More contentiously, Butler has faced backlash for a tweet suggesting that the racial identity of Kemi Badenoch, another public figure, lacks authenticity. This insinuation has been widely criticized as not only offensive but also absurd, given Badenoch's undeniable black heritage. Critics argue that Butler's implication that racial identity dictates uniformity in thought serves only to further divide communities along racial lines. Furthermore, Butler's record of provocative statements includes a recent instance where she shared a poem that many interpreted as racially charged, implying a superiority based on her African heritage. Such remarks have sparked outrage and debate over racial double standards. Similar comments from a white individual might have led to severe repercussions, potentially including legal consequences. Additionally, her appearance on the national television program Good Morning Britain, during which she claimed that babies are not born with a biological sex, has also drawn skepticism and criticism. This pattern of contentious public statements by Butler highlights the ongoing challenges and complexities of discussing race and identity in the public sphere. Audience member Les drew a striking comparison between recent statements from Labour MPs and a controversial remark by President Joe Biden, who suggested that voting for Donald Trump meant, "You ain't black." Les argues that rhetoric of this kind, which implies that specific groups must align politically based on identity, not only perpetuates division, but also risks fueling a subtler form of racism by stifling individuality. In Les's view, when political figures prescribe how particular demographics should think or vote, it undermines personal agency, enforcing an ideological conformity that deepens existing divides. Despite these issues, the strong entrenchment of such views within political circles suggests that figures like Dawn Butler are unlikely to face repercussions for promoting them. In a separate but related question, audience member Bob inquired about how Labour's recent budget might impact the party's popularity and whether the Conservatives could capitalise on it. According to the latest BMG poll, the Conservatives have indeed overtaken Labour in popularity, a surprising development given Labour's prior majority of over 400 seats in recent polling. This shift in public sentiment indicates that Labour's honeymoon period may have ended abruptly, raising questions about the sustainability of left-leaning ideologies within the party. Labour's current budget proposals, which emphasise controlled economic growth and an expanded state presence, have led some to fear the UK could edge closer to socialism. While these policies align with Labour's long-standing ideals, they may have sparked apprehension among the electorate, who now face the possibility of tangible material consequences on their daily lives. If these concerns continue to mount, the Conservatives may indeed find a renewed opportunity to gain ground in the next election. Many people find that neither the Labour nor Conservative parties adequately reflect their values anymore, each drifting away from its foundational principles. Despite its name, Labour seems to have lost touch with the working class it purports to represent. Similarly, while Kemi Badenoch's rise to leadership marks a historic moment, there's widespread skepticism about whether her role meaningfully impacts the party's core ideals. In another debate, Abdi questions whether Google's decision to flag businesses with LGBTQ-friendly, woman-owned, or minority-owned indicators is an overreach. Google's new features aim to promote inclusivity by identifying these businesses, but some argue this could be seen as unnecessary or merely symbolic. For most patrons, the quality of the food is paramount, and the ownership details of a restaurant are generally of less concern. Anton's question raises a critical concern about whether it's fitting for President Biden to refer to his critics as garbage. Although Biden clarified that his comment was in response to a comedian's joke, many perceive it as echoing Hillary Clinton's infamous deplorables remark, with the potential to alienate significant portions of the electorate. This kind of divisive language risks intensifying societal fractures, with some even warning that such polarization could escalate into civil conflict. As the next election looms, rhetoric from both sides has the power to shape public sentiment profoundly, underscoring the need for responsible discourse to prevent further division.